Continuing on with part 2 of our practice quiz, it reads that we're going to write a sentence with both an adverbial infinitive as well as a nominal infinitive. Remember, the adverbial infinitive answers why, and a nominal answers what. And one way of knowing that you have it right is that the adverbial one could be written with in order to. So I could say, I needed to study to pass this test. Or I could say, I needed to study in order to pass this test. Well, to study is the nominal because it's saying I needed what to study. And then I could say why in order to pass this test. Continuing, number 2, we're showing different places to put an adverb of emphasis. So I thought I'd use the word barely and show different places to put the word barely. I only need 3, but I came up with 5 different places. I could say I had barely just enough time. I could say I had just barely enough time. I could say I had just enough time barely to slap together. I could say I had just enough time to slap together a barely legible Mold Day t-shirt. Or I could also say I had just enough time to slap together a legible Mold Day t-shirt to help my barely average grade in AP Chem. The places you can't put it is you can't put it between the to and the slap. You can't say to barely slap. That would be a split infinitive. And I certainly couldn't say to barely help because that would also be a split infinitive. On number 3, the 2 different ways of fixing this particular dangling adverbial infinitive. So it says Goobers and Twizzlers were stashed away in Jackson's pants in order to sneak them into the movie theater past the ushers. Well, the infinitive says in order to sneak them, but the subject is Goobers and Twizzlers. And the Goobers and Twizzlers were stashed away, but the Goobers and the Twizzlers are not sneaking into the theater. It's Jackson who's sneaking them into the theater. So remember, there's always 2 solutions. The easiest solution we talked about was simply adding 4 plus a person's name in order for Jackson to sneak them. The harder solution is to rewrite the sentence so that Jackson is the subject in this case. So I'd say Jackson stashed away Goobers and Twizzlers in his pants in order to sneak them. So those are the 2 solutions. We talked about that when we looked at misplaced and dangling infinitives and gerunds. Lastly is our diagram, and I just simply put it all in one big diagram because I think it does a good job of kind of hitting all 3 of the concepts. Very similar to what we did when we looked at our in-class assessment, and I tried to hit all 3 concepts in one particular diagram. I wanted to show an adverbial objective, I wanted to show an adverbial infinitive, as well as the adverb clause. And so this one reads that Noah managed when last Thanksgiving. So here is our adverbial objective. I didn't capitalize the L in last. I apologize. I should have done that. And then he managed what? Up on a tree is an nominal infinitive. He managed what? To burn his garage, and burning it where? He's burning it down. And then when takes us into our adverb clause, and then he exceeded temperature, the temperature, recommended temperature, temperature of oil, his oil. And then why did he exceed it? Well, in order to deep fry, which I treated as one big verb. I'm not sure it is or not, but I did. To deep fry turkey, a turkey, and he's deep frying it where? In minutes, 3 minutes, but it's under 3 minutes. So here's my adverbial infinitive, my adverb clause, my adverbial objective. Those are the 3 major concepts we want to make sure we know. When I was trying to figure out the pattern's the main sentence, not the adverb clause, but the main sentence, which is a subject, an action verb, and a direct object. I know this looks like an indirect object because there's an understood word here, but really it isn't. It's just an adverbial objective. It's just an adverb that we're flattening now. So this is just a pattern 7. Okay?